Hey my dudes, I run a bakery from home called Bagriya Lara, and today was all about mini cakes and cookies. So I got started with the mini cakes right away. Now I only have 12 mini cake molds. This is a big problem for me. So these mini cakes are going into pastry boxes that I sell, and I've sold 30 pastry boxes, but I only have 12 molds, and I obviously need to have extras as well. So I had to bake off 3 rounds of these cakes, which was a lot. It was a lot of rounds. It was a lot of doing dishes today, but the cakes are pink peppercorn flavored, and then they get with a rose namalaka. So a namalaka is kind of like a ganache, but it has much more cream and like less chocolate, and I'm flavoring this one with some rose water. It also has gelatin, so it has a little bit more of a like bouncier texture. The ganache portion though really just like destroyed my whisk. I don't know why I was using a grandma whisk instead of a balloon whisk in the first place, but yeah, it has a heavy amount of cream in it, so I guess it's almost like a whipped ganache. Anyways, I was also like spilling, and today was just like I was way more stressed this day of prep than I was the other day. The cakes turned out really well though, and I got started on the rhubarb, so I needed to make jam, and I also wanted to make these little rhubarb buttons for the top. And right here, I cut the crap out of my nail. Like, I didn't cut the actual nail off. I like cut into my nail. It wasn't bleeding or anything, and I bandaged myself up right away, but like, whoo boy, it was just like, you know, when you cut yourself and you get kind of like shocked. Anyways, second round of cakes was finally out of the oven, and I had to go directly into, wait, that was the first round of cakes? Whatever. This is the second round of cakes. They went into the oven. The rhubarb jam and a rhubarb like simple syrup was on the stove at the same time. So I also had to like wrap all of these cakes in plastic. I'm probably not going to do this next week, but I just had to do it for this week. So the rhubarb jam, I like to take all the liquid and then mix it with like fresh rhubarb and then just a little bit of the cooked rhubarb. I like a combination of like both cooked and fresh flavor. These cakes are so worth the hassle though, because they're just so freaking adorable and cute, even though they took me so freaking long to deal with. I do have more mini forms on the way. They're just coming from the United States, so they're taking literally forever. And then the second thing I had to do, or I don't even know how many, whatever. The second main thing I had to do were these cookies. They are cinnamon bun flavored, and they're Swedish dream cookies, drömmar. And so they're made with baking ammonia instead of like baking soda or baking powder. And I covered them in not powdered sugar, pearl sugar. Baked those off, and while those were baking, I made some egg wash for my buns that I'm also putting in these pastry boxes. Finally, the last round of mini cakes were done, and now I just had to wrap all of them in plastic. And as I was wrapping them, all of the drömmar were like coming out of the oven, and they're supposed to be like really dry and crispy, which is why I baked them off the night before. Check back tomorrow for the actual bake.